I had hoped this stupid joke would end with the day. I had no idea this was only the beginning of the nightmare. After Austin got my number, he was like a piece of gum stuck to my shoe, impossible to get rid of. He used burner accounts to bombard me. I'd block one, he'd create another. It was an endless, exhausting cycle. Finally, I just gave up. I put all his accounts on mute and let him talk to himself. Good morning, my queen. Thinking of you. Good night, my love. See you in my dreams. Babe, I love you so much I can't sleep. The greasy messages arrived like clockwork, more punctual and infinitely more annoying than my alarm. I didn't even bother reading them, afraid they'd permanently damage my eyesight. He didn't give up. He started forwarding me his own social media posts, a pathetic attempt to show off. Every post had a similar caption, just another multi-million-dollar project I'm handling at Sterling Industries. The pictures were all carefully angled selfies showing off his employee ID badge, taken in the corner of a conference room or by the water cooler. One was a blurry, stolen shot of the investment division's hallway, which he claimed was proof of his close relationship with the executives. See? Our annual Sterling party was at the Four Seasons. The employees at your little startup would probably die of envy. I hear you guys are trying to raise capital? I'm tight with everyone in the Sterling investment division. I can put in a good word for you. I glanced at the messages and nearly choked on my coffee. It was absurd. When I didn't reply, he started calling me from a series of blocked numbers. I was in the middle of a crucial call with a potential investor, and my phone wouldn't stop vibrating. The investor politely paused, asking if I needed to take it. I gritted my teeth and turned my phone off completely. His constant harassment was starting to give me auditory hallucinations. I felt like his calls and texts were coming in 24/7. When I finally turned my phone back on, sure enough, there was another stream of messages from him. A woman doesn't need to work so hard. Marrying a good man is all that matters. I sit in an air-conditioned office at Sterling all day. It's way better than slaving away at some tiny startup. Easy and stable. You marry me, and you can just be a stay-at-home queen. I ground my teeth, my fists clenched so tight my knuckles were white. I couldn't even focus on my pitch deck anymore. Austin wasn't just delusional, he had zero boundaries. That night, I posted a story about working late. He immediately slid into my DMs. Your little company, what's it called, Innovatech? You could pull all-nighters for a year and you'd still never get funded. Just ask me nicely, babe. I can hook you up with someone from Sterling's VC arm. But honestly, a woman's career is pointless. Marrying an elite professional from Sterling like me is a million times better than killing yourself for a paycheck. When I still didn't reply, he lost it. I'm way out of your league. Don't be so ungrateful. I almost laughed out loud. Sterling Industries was my parents' company. He was a low-level drone at a subsidiary, making peanuts, and he had the audacity to lecture me. I had no idea where he got his confidence. I rubbed my temples, tossed my phone aside, and tried to focus on my work. A couple of days later, Taylor asked me to go shopping. Unsurprisingly, she happened to fall in love with a dress that cost a fortune and just so happened to have forgotten her wallet. So I played the role of the sugar mama, yet again. While we were getting coffee, she brought him up. So, that guy from the other night, the one who got your number. Are you still talking to him? The question unleashed a torrent of frustration. Don't even get me started, I vented. He's driving me crazy. He calls himself a Sterling elite and keeps saying he can help me get funding. As if. The guy is so full of himself. Honestly, I don't even bother correcting him. I'm afraid the poor schmuck's ego would shatter. Whoever ends up with him must be blind. Taylor's expression froze for a second. She looked down, taking a sip of her latte. A shadow passed over her face, so quickly I almost missed it, before she pasted on a faint smile. I didn't notice anything was wrong. I just assumed she agreed with me about how pathetic he was. When I paid, Taylor mumbled something under her breath. Rich people are so judgmental. I frowned. What did you say? Nothing, she said, forcing a smile. You're right. A broke loser like him doesn't deserve a rich girl like you. Her words had a sharp edge to them. I was about to say something when my phone lit up again. Babe, why are you still ignoring me? If you pass me up, you'll never find anyone better. My status at Sterling is something a peon at a tiny company like yours could only dream of. Meeting me was the best thing that ever happened to you. Don't be an idiot. If you keep giving me the cold shoulder, I can make one call and have your little company bankrupt by tomorrow. Don't test me. I blocked that number, too. For the next few days, there was silence. Maybe he'd finally run out of burner accounts. I breathed a sigh of relief, grateful to finally be able to focus on the funding round. For a moment, there was peace. At the same time, in a cramped studio apartment across town, Taylor was staring at her phone. The screen showed an article about Innovatech's founder, Zendaya Coleman. The feature photo was a smiling, confident picture of me. Young entrepreneur Zendaya Coleman launches Series B funding for Innovatech. The headline stung. Taylor scrolled through my feed, then stared at the article again, her finger jabbing at the screen, her eyes cold. Then, she opened her contacts and scrolled to a name she hadn't touched in years. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Do you have any idea who the woman you're chasing really is? Another week went by, and suddenly, Austin's whole vibe changed. He stopped sending those greasy, possessive, good morning texts. Instead, he started bombarding me with links to tech industry news articles. I looked closely, they were all about Innovatech's upcoming funding round. Babe, I had no idea you were the CEO. Why didn't you tell me? I thought you were just some entry-level grunt. Man, my bad. I should have known my future wife was a boss. Don't worry, Sterling has your back now. I'll connect you with the right people, and we'll blow this business up together. Consider your funding secured. I know all the heavy hitters at Sterling. I read his messages like I was reading a comedy script. I didn't reply to a single one. But Austin wouldn't quit. He kept creating new burner accounts, sending thousands of messages from dawn till dusk. I finally had enough. I called a mid-level manager I actually knew at Sterling Industries and asked him to casually put Austin in his place. The very next morning, I walked up to my office building and saw Austin standing right out front, holding up a giant red banner. I got closer, and my temples started throbbing with rage. The banner read in huge block letters, Zendaya Coleman, CEO of Innovatech, is a heartbreaker with a filthy personal life. He had also scattered a bunch of flyers all over the sidewalk. The building security guards were trying to stop him. People walking by were stopping to take pictures and whispering. Austin was screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm looking for my wife, Zendaya. Who the hell do you rent-a-cops think you are?" That was it. I called the cops. I wanted to see exactly how long this psycho could keep up the act. The second the NYPD rolled up, Austin morphed into this pathetic, victimized puppy. He whined to the officers, "Come on, guys, it's just a lover spat. You don't need to be involved. You were just screaming that she's your wife. Now she's your girlfriend," one of the cops asked, looking unamused. "Well, we're dating now, so we'll be married eventually, right?" Austin whipped out his phone and pulled up that stupid April Fool's friend request. He pointed to the text he'd attached, "I like you, can we be together?" and yelled, "Look, she accepted my request. That means she agreed to be with me. We're practically engaged." I was so mad I couldn't even speak. My attempt at being nice had completely backfired. I wanted to travel back in time and slap myself. It was an April Fool's dare. I just didn't want him to look like a loser in front of his friends. And now he was spinning it into some epic romance. "I have absolutely no relationship with this man," I told the cops, enunciating every word through clenched teeth. Austin kept insisting I was lying, refusing to back down. Since no one was physically hurt, the cops couldn't do much. They gave him a stern warning and told him to move along. 2 hours later, he was back in front of the building, screaming up at my office windows, yelling that I could never hide from him. I called the cops again. This time, they actually arrested him. He got slapped with a 5-day hold for disturbing the peace, but the damage was done. The rumor mill in the office was churning. Our partners started calling, asking questions. The due diligence process for our Series B was immediately paused. I was completely overwhelmed. Right in the middle of this mess, my best friend, Taylor, called. "Hey, how are you holding up? Is that weird guy still bothering you?" I sighed, rubbing my eyes. He showed up at my office making a scene. "It's a disaster. The company's reputation is taking a massive hit," I complained. "Really?" Taylor's voice pitched up. I don't know if I was just paranoid, but I swear I heard a hint of excitement in her voice. She must have realized how she sounded, because she quickly coughed and changed the subject. "How's the funding going? Did his crazy stunt mess things up?" I rubbed my temples, figuring I was just overthinking it, and told her the truth. Someone actually filed an anonymous complaint about my personal life. The investors put a hold on everything, including the funding. "Oh no, what are you gonna do? Will you still get the money? Is Innovatech going to go under?" She was asking the questions so fast. A weird, uneasy feeling settled in my stomach. Something clicked. "Wait," I asked, my voice suddenly sharp, "how did you know someone filed a complaint?" Dead silence on the other end. It took her several seconds to recover. I just guessed. "I mean, a guy like Austin, what wouldn't he do?" She laughed, trying to smooth it over. I didn't press it, but a seed of doubt had been planted. Not long after we hung up, the manager at Sterling Industries texted me. "Zendaya, we have an employee named Austin Butler who just posted a photo of you in an internal company chat. I thought it was highly inappropriate, so I'm forwarding it to you." I opened the image, and my blood boiled. It was a picture of me slouched on a sofa, my face flushed, clearly intoxicated. My mind went blank for a second before I started frantically piecing it together. It was from a networking dinner 2 years ago. I'd had a few too many drinks, got a headache, and sat in a corner to rest. I vaguely remembered. Taylor was there that night. She had no business being at an executive dinner, but she had begged me to bring her so she could network. I'd felt bad and said yes. The photo had been edited with some weird, hazy filter that made it look incredibly suggestive. The manager also sent screenshots of Austin's messages in the chat. He was spreading rumors that I'd built my entire company by sleeping with investors. My heart stopped. I felt cold all over. With no other choice, I unblocked Austin's number and added him back. He accepted immediately. His message came through seconds later, dripping with smugness. "Well, look who finally decided to talk to me, Madam CEO. Where did you get that photo?" My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. "Don't worry about it," he replied, attaching a smirking emoji. "If this photo gets out to the rest of the industry, your reputation as the brilliant female founder is completely shot. Forget the funding, you won't even be able to show your face in public." I forced myself to take a deep breath. "What do you want?" I could practically hear him whistling through the screen. His text was sickeningly triumphant. "Marry me. That's the only condition. Be a good girl, say yes, and this all goes away. Otherwise, I release the rest of the photos, and I make sure you're a laughingstock." I stared at my phone, completely paralyzed. The career I had killed myself to build, the reputation I had guarded so fiercely, all of it was being held hostage by this absolute creep. In that moment, I felt so powerless. I couldn't hide, I couldn't shake him, and I didn't even have the energy to fight back. All I felt was panic and a deep, suffocating sense of injustice. Austin's threat echoed in my head for hours. It took a long time to calm down. But then I remembered who I was. I hadn't built Innovatech by backing down. I gritted my teeth and pulled myself together. I texted our corporate lawyer. His response: to nail him for extortion, we need ironclad evidence. Thinking of Austin's smug face, I ground my teeth and typed a single line to him: come to my office. We'll talk in person. The next morning, Austin strolled into my building bright and early. He was wearing the same ill-fitting suit, his hair slicked back with grease, strutting into the lobby like he owned the place. The young receptionist tried to stop him. He shoved her hard, sending her sprawling to the floor, and yelled, I'm your CEO's fiancé. I run this place now. In 2 years, she'll be at home cooking my dinner and raising my kids anyway. He barged right past security and stormed into my office. Before I could even speak, he threw himself onto my sofa and started yelling for my assistant to get him a coffee. When no one moved, he got up, walked over, and tried to put his arm around my shoulder. So, babe, finally came to your senses and realized you want to marry me. I suppressed a gag and dodged his arm. Smoothly, I placed my phone face down on my desk, right next to a folder, and discreetly hit record. You said you have private photos of me. Is that true? I asked, keeping my voice ice cold. Damn straight. I've got years worth of private photos, text logs, and audio recordings you definitely don't want going public. I tried to hide my shock. He leaned in closer, his eyes gleaming with pure greed. So here's the deal. Either we go to City Hall right now, and you hand over control of your shares in Innovatech and your parents' assets at Sterling, or you pay me $100 million in hush money. And if I say no? Heh. If you say no, I leak every photo, every recording of you bitching about your company in private. I'll destroy you. You'll be radioactive. That's extortion, I stated flatly. Extortion? Blackmail? Call it whatever you want, he laughed, loud and obnoxious. You're a female CEO. Once your reputation is ruined, you're nothing. You better think real hard about this. I clenched my fists, feigning defeat. I need time to think. I'll give you an answer in a week. Seeing me back down, Austin shot me a smug look, clearly thinking that's what I thought. Fine. Don't try anything stupid. He stood up, dusted off his cheap suit, and swaggered out the door. The second it clicked shut, I saved the recording and named the file extortion evidence _01. For the first time in weeks, the heavy weight on my chest lifted just a little. That night, I FaceTimed my parents, who were vacationing in Europe, and gave them the condensed version. They were horrified and furious. My dad wanted to hop on the next flight to New York and deal with this creep himself. I insisted I wanted to handle it using the legal system. I didn't want to hide behind them. My dad stopped my mom, who was pacing around the hotel room, and thought for a moment before nodding. We respect your decision, Zendaya. But if you hit a wall, you tell us immediately. We always have your back. I exhaled a long breath and started plotting my counterattack. Across the Atlantic, the minute they hung up, my parents started pulling strings to look into Austin Butler. A few days later, Austin sent me another massive dump of screenshots and photos. It was his way of reminding me the clock was ticking. Along with the drunk photo, there were shots taken down my shirt when I bent over, upskirt angles taken from below on a staircase, and audio clips of private conversations that had been maliciously edited to make it sound like I was trashing my own company and mocking my competitors. Taylor. She was the only person who could have gotten these. Your bestie is a real one. She gave me everything, Austin texted, mocking me. She said you've just been giving her charity all these years, that you always look down on her. I almost feel bad for you, feeding a stray dog that just bites your hand. But, hey, her and I were high school sweethearts, so of course she's gonna side with me. Give it up, Zendaya. I scrolled through the files, feeling a cold numbness wash over me. Last year, when Taylor couldn't make rent, I transferred the money without a second thought. When she wanted designer bags, I bought them. When she cried and begged me to take her to VIP dinners so she could network, I caved. Turns out, in Taylor's eyes, all of that was just a rich girl's charity. None of it was real friendship. My generosity had become the knife she used to stab me in the back. Fine. Good riddance. People like her didn't deserve my loyalty anyway. For the next 2 days, I organized every recording and screenshot. The lawyer reviewed the file and confirmed that Austin's actions met every legal requirement for felony extortion. It was a slam dunk. Right on cue, my mom sent me a heavily encrypted file. It was a detailed dossier on Austin's history at Sterling Industries, embezzlement, sexual harassment of female interns, and using his position to demand kickbacks from vendors. It was 5 pages long, single-spaced. It took me an hour to read through the sheer volume of his sleaze. When the week was up, Austin came strutting back into my office. This time, he was wearing an even louder, tackier suit. He was carrying a plastic grocery bag full of cheap, bulk candy. He tossed it onto the receptionist's desk. Here, I'm marrying your boss. Have some wedding candy. The receptionist, still traumatized from when he shoved her, scrambled out of the way. The second he got in the elevator, she dumped the whole bag into the trash. Austin threw my office door open, acting like he owned the place. All right, babe. Time's up. Let's make this wedding official. I slid a manila folder across my desk. Austin smirked, picking it up. What's this? The prenup signing over your assets. I watched him with a deadpan expression as he lived in his fantasy world. Sensing the mood, he shifted in his seat and looked down. When he read the words, confession of guilt, in bold at the top of the document, his eyes widened. The document meticulously detailed his extortion, defamation, and harassment, complete with a list of the corresponding evidence. The color drained from his face. His mouth twitched uncontrollably. It took him a full minute to process it. Then he slammed his hand on the desk and roared, Zendaya, are you out of your mind? I just scoffed, picked up my phone, and hit play on the recording from last week. Extortion? Blackmail? Call it whatever you want. You're a female CEO. Once your reputation is ruined, you're nothing. His arrogant voice echoed through the quiet office. It sounded incredibly pathetic now. Austin lunged across the desk to grab the phone. The private security guard I'd hired was faster. He snatched Austin by the collar and hauled him back like a rag doll. Don't bother, I said. I have it backed up on multiple servers. Panic set in, but Austin kept trying to act tough. You think I'm scared? I have backups too. I can post those photos right now. Slowly, deliberately, I tossed the dossier of his illegal activities at Sterling Industries onto the desk. Those photos? They'll get me some bad press for a week. This gets you 10 years in federal prison. So, who do you think should be scared right now? Austin stared at the logs of his embezzled funds. His hands started to shake. His knees gave out, and he collapsed back onto the sofa. All the bluster vanished, replaced by a cold sweat. He was trembling like a leaf. Suddenly, my office door burst open. Taylor stormed in. Zendaya, did you get me fired? She screamed, her eyes red and puffy. You think just because you have money you're better than everyone? I knew it. I knew you always looked down on me. I stood up, looking at her with pure disgust. I paid your rent. I bought you your designer clothes. I brought you to networking events with industry leaders. When did I ever treat you like anything less than an equal? And how did you repay me? You took creep shots of me. You leaked my private information. And now you have the nerve to play the victim? So what if I took them? Taylor shrieked, her eyes wild with a manic, spiteful energy. After today, everyone's going to see you half naked. Everyone's going to point and laugh at you. Your life is over. Ha ha ha. I stood my ground, my posture perfectly straight. Being secretly recorded isn't my fault. The only disgusting people here are the ones who took the photos, spread the rumors, and tried to use them. I have nothing to be ashamed of. You're the ones covered in filth. Right on cue, 2 NYPD detectives knocked on the open door and stepped inside. I pointed at them. Austin Butler. Extortion. Taylor Smith. Accomplice, invasion of privacy, and defamation. We have all the evidence. Seeing the cops pull out handcuffs, reality finally hit Taylor. She panicked. She spun around and pointed at Austin. He made me do it. It was all his idea. Austin wasn't going down alone. You crazy bitch, you brought them to me. They started screaming and tearing at each other right there in my office. The cops dragged Austin away. He was practically limp, still muttering, but she accepted my friend request. Taylor collapsed onto the floor, grabbing my pant leg and sobbing. Zendaya, please. I'm sorry. I just wasn't thinking straight. If I go to jail, my life is ruined. We're best friends. You can't do this to me. I kicked my leg free, stepping away from her. When you were plotting to destroy my life, did you ever stop to think we were best friends? Actions have consequences, Taylor. After they were hauled into the police cruisers, the crowd of employees that had gathered in the hallway dispersed. My assistant sent a brief memo in the company Slack summarizing the situation. It was finally over. My lead investor called, confirming that the due diligence process was back on track. My parents texted, celebrating that the garbage had been taken out. I leaned back in my chair and let out a massive sigh of relief. I chuckled grimly to myself. I am never celebrating April Fool's Day again. I thought that was the end of it. But the peace only lasted 2 weeks before everything went sideways again. My assistant rushed into my office, looking pale. Zendaya, Austin and Taylor's families posted bail. They're out pending trial. I frowned. It was annoying, but standard procedure. Then she dropped the bomb. The bail amounts were massive. Way more than their families could afford. We think someone else posted it. Institutional money. I took the file she handed me. Outside, the sky was turning dark. The piece I had just found shattered into a million pieces. I stared at the paperwork, piecing it together. A heavy, suffocating dread settled over me. This wasn't just about a creepy guy and a jealous friend. The plot against me, against Innovatech, and maybe even against Sterling Industries, it wasn't over. It was just beginning. As the sun set, my employees started trickling out of the office. I sat there for hours, exhausted, staring blankly at the Manhattan traffic below. Bail source unknown. Suspected institutional backing. I read that line over and over until my chest physically ached. The brief moment of relief I'd had was gone, replaced by a looming shadow. That night, I got on another FaceTime call with my parents. My dad looked unusually grim. My mom's eyes were red. We all felt it. Something much bigger was happening. We spent the entire night analyzing Sterling Industries' recent stock activity. Sure enough, over the next 3 days, Sterling's stock plummeted by over 8%. The market was flooded with massive, anonymous sell orders driving the price down. Innovatech was hit too. Key partnerships were suddenly put on hold without explanation. Even my usually unflappable receptionist looked a little shaky after seeing the trending negative hashtags about me online. Paranoia swept through the office. After days of digging, we finally found the source. Apex Capital. Apex was the main backer of our biggest competitor in the tech sector. Their CEO, Marcus Vance, had bankrolled Austin and Taylor. He was using my scandal to torpedo Innovatech's funding and drag Sterling Industries down in the collateral damage. I stared at the screen, the wire transfers to Austin's family, the logs of the market manipulation. The anger burned away my exhaustion. You want to play dirty? I muttered to myself. Let's go. For the next few days, Austin and Taylor went completely off the rails, ignoring their bail conditions and acting with total impunity. The hashtag Innovatech CEO sleeps her way to the top started trending on Twitter, flooded with thousands of bot accounts spewing garbage. Sleazy gossip blogs published fabricated text messages and photos. Notice of termination letters from our vendors piled up on my desk. One investor actually blocked my number. Innovatech's Series B was suspended again. The company was facing the biggest crisis in its history. The lead investor called, his tone dead serious. Zendaya, the PR nightmare is affecting the board's decision. If you can't turn this around immediately, we have to pull the term sheet. I kept my voice steady, projecting absolute confidence. Innovatech will resolve this completely. None of our partners will suffer any blowback. After I hung up, I pulled an all-nighter compiling the mother of all evidence files, the extortion recordings, Taylor's confession about the photos, the wire transfers from Apex Capital, the stock manipulation data, and every single defamatory post they'd made since making bail. I checked and double-checked everything. It was airtight. With my lawyer, I marched into the NYPD precinct. I handed over the files and informed the detectives that Apex Capital was highly likely to instruct Austin and Taylor to pull a stunt at my upcoming press conference. I also made a very specific request. Everything was in place. I sent Austin a single text, in 3 days, at the Innovatech press conference, we settle everything. He replied instantly. You stupid bitch. I'm gonna ruin you in front of the whole world. The night before the press conference, I stood alone in the empty venue. I checked every wire. The AV guys tested the main screen. I insisted on a hardwired backup line and had the evidence files duplicated on 3 separate secure servers. My dad texted, legal and PR teams are locked and loaded. Give them hell. My mom FaceTimed me, pacing and giving me a million last-minute instructions. Their support was my armor. Looking out at the neon lights of the city, I felt zero fear. Just a cold, hard determination. In 3 days, the world was going to see the truth. The Innovatech Series B press conference. The room was packed. Investors and tech giants sat in the front rows. The press corps was practically vibrating with anticipation. I knew exactly why they were all here. They wanted front row seats to the circus, to see how the Zendaya Coleman scandal was going to end. I stepped up to the podium. Just as I opened my mouth to speak, the screech of a megaphone pierced the air. Austin and Taylor stood up in the back row, each holding a bullhorn. Zendaya Coleman slept her way to the top. Innovatech's financials are fake. Don't believe her. She's a liar and a sociopath. They started throwing handfuls of printed photos into the air. The blurry, edited pictures rained down on the crowd. The VIPs in the front row dodged them with looks of disgust. The reporters in the back went crazy, their cameras flashing like strobe lights. The room erupted into chaos. The shouts, the megaphones, the confusion, it was exactly the circus they wanted. Then, the massive LED screen behind me flickered. The presentation disappeared, replaced by the doctored photos and the fake audio clips. A hacker had hijacked the feed, scrolling derogatory text across the screen to whip the crowd into a frenzy. Austin laughed into his megaphone. This is what you get for crossing me. If you had just shut up and married me, none of this would have happened. I didn't flinch. I raised my hand. My AV tech instantly hit the switch to the hardwired backup line. In 3 seconds, the screen went black, then came back online. It wasn't my presentation. It was the evidence file, Austin demanding the $100 million. Taylor admitting to taking the photos. The wire transfers from Apex Capital to their accounts. The data logs proving Apex had illegally shorted sterling stock. The truth, laid bare in 4K resolution. A stunned silence fell over the room. The cameras pivoted instantly from me to Austin and Taylor. The color drained from their faces. They dropped the megaphones and scrambled toward the exit doors. I grabbed my mic, my voice ringing out over the PA system, crystal clear and commanding. Extortion. Defamation. Conspiracy. Market manipulation. Every single crime has a paper trail. And to the puppet masters at Apex Capital, who orchestrated this illegal short and distort campaign, you will be held fully accountable. Seeing the evidence, Austin and Taylor knew it was over. There was nowhere to run. I saw the look in their eyes change from panic to pure, homicidal rage. My stomach dropped. Austin yanked a switchblade from his pocket. The blade caught the stage lights. He looked completely unhinged, like a cornered animal. He let out a feral scream and charged down the aisle toward the stage. You ruined my life, you bitch. I'm taking you with me. Taylor, completely manic, shoved him forward, screaming, die. Just die. Before he even made it halfway, 2 men in the crowd, the plainclothes detectives I had requested, sprang into action. One tackled Austin, disarming him in a blur of motion and pinning him to the floor. The other grabbed Taylor, cuffing her with practiced efficiency. It was over in seconds. Pinned to the carpet, Austin thrashed and screamed, you whore. I'll never let you get away with this. Taylor, now in handcuffs, shrieked, I didn't mean to. He made me do it. It was all him. I stood on the stage, looking down at them. Taylor looked nothing like the polished girl I used to know. She looked feral. I felt no pity. No hesitation. Just the cold satisfaction of justice. The police secured the evidence on site. There would be no bail this time. Attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and a laundry list of other felonies. With the combined legal power of Innovatech and Sterling Industries, I knew they were never seeing the light of day again. I walked down and thanked the detectives for taking my request seriously. Don't mention it, Miss Coleman. Just doing our jobs, one of them said, grinning. Besides, you basically handed us the bust of the year on a silver platter. The guys back at the precinct are gonna be so jealous. The MC took the microphone and addressed the stunned room. Evidence of Apex Capital's market manipulation and their conspiracy against Innovatech has been formally submitted to the SEC and the FBI. The lead investor stood up from the front row. I am pleased to announce that Innovatech's Series B funding is fully secured. Due diligence is complete and satisfactory. The press conference ended. The dust settled. My parents canceled all their travel plans and basically put me under house arrest in my own apartment, treating me like a fragile toddler. "Mom, I've gained like 10 pounds, I protested, blocking her from putting another scoop of lobster risotto on my plate. "You're working so hard, you've been through so much, you need your strength," she insisted. I looked at my dad for help. He opened his mouth, caught my mom's glare, and immediately shut it. I went to bed that night smelling like garlic butter. A few days later, Taylor's public defender passed along a message. She said she knew she was wrong and wanted to apologize. I was in the middle of feeding the last photo of the two of us into a shredder. I looked at the lawyer and said, "Good. She can think about that in her cell." The lawyer looked uncomfortable and tried to plead her case. I just buzzed my assistant to show him out. Apex Capital was raided by the feds. And you know what they say, when you pull up a weed, you bring up the dirt. The investigation into the stock manipulation uncovered years of tax evasion and corporate bribery. Marcus Vance was indicted on a dozen federal charges. Apex was hit with massive fines and forced into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Before I knew it, it was my birthday. My parents threw a massive gala for me at the plaza. The guest list was a who's who of New York. My mom grabbed my arm and whispered, "See that guy over there? The CEO of Vanguard's son. He just finished his PhD at MIT." My internal alarm bells went off, and I immediately looked for an exit. My dad intervened, laughing. "Leave her alone, Martha. The girl's focused on her empire." He raised his glass and toasted the crowd. My mom, seeing how comfortable I was holding court with the executives, finally dropped the matchmaking routine. "So, what's your birthday wish?" my dad asked. I thought back to that awful April Fool's Day. That stupid friend request. The 8 months of absolute hell that followed. I could still taste the bitterness. I took a bite of my cake. It was perfect. I smiled. My wish? I wish I never have to deal with another April Fool's joke as long as I live. And that people would just be decent to each other. Fireworks went off over Central Park, lighting up the ballroom windows in brilliant colors. The April Fool's nightmare was finally over, fading away like smoke in the night sky. It was April Fool's Day, and I was having dinner with my best friend at a trendy spot downtown. At the table next to us, a group of guys were playing some stupid dare game. The loser had to go hit on a random girl. Next thing I knew, this guy, Austin, was shoved in my direction, blushing furiously as he mumbled, "I like you." His friends erupted in whoops and whistles. I figured it was just a holiday prank and didn't want to embarrass the guy, so I played along and gave him my number. Just trying to be a good sport. "Way to go, Butler. You've still got it," one of his friends yelled. Hearing the praise, Austin's whole demeanor changed. His shy act vanished, replaced by a smug, arrogant grin. His eyes scanned my outfit, my handbag, lingering on my bare wrist with a little TSK. "I work at Sterling Industries, by the way," he announced. "When we get married, you'll need to learn to be more frugal. No more wasting money on frivolous things." I thought he was still playing the game, so I didn't bother arguing. But he just kept going, planning our entire future with this infuriating sense of entitlement. That night, my phone blew up with hundreds of messages. Austin was barking orders at me. We'd have 5 kids in 3 years, my entire salary would go to him, and all the housework would be my responsibility. I thought the April Fool's joke would be over by the next day. I had no idea that a stupid holiday prank was just the beginning of a total nightmare. So, back at the restaurant, I was out with my best friend, Taylor. My head was swimming with numbers and data points from the pitch deck for our next funding round. Taylor was flipping through the menu, ordering several dishes that were easily over $100 each. When the waiter came to confirm the order, Taylor clutched her stomach. "Oh, I don't feel so good," she mumbled, rushing off to the restroom. I sighed, shaking my head with a wry smile, and paid the bill. A few minutes later, the table next to us got loud. "A dare's a dare. You lost, you gotta do it. No chickening out." I tried to ignore them, but a shadow fell over my table. I like you. Can I get your number?" I looked up. He was a tall, skinny guy, drowning in a suit that was clearly too big for him. When I didn't say anything, his face tightened. His friends started chanting again. "If you don't get her number, you have to chug the whole bottle. Don't wimp out, Austin." The guy standing in front of me looked even more pathetic, his hand holding his phone trembling slightly. Whatever, I thought. It's just an April Fool's joke. I can be nice. It's not worth him getting humiliated in public. I quickly scanned his QR code, figuring I'd play along and get it over with. "Yeah, Austin. You're the man." The catcalls got louder. The second he saw the friend added notification, the nervous, awkward guy vanished. His eyes darted from my phone to my purse, then pointedly at my bare wrist, a smug smirk playing on his lips. "The name's Austin Butler. I work at Sterling Industries." "Sterling Industries? Isn't that my parents' company?" I stayed quiet, waiting to see where this was going. He leaned in closer, a wave of cheap booze hitting me in the face. "What brand is that bag? You get it on sale at some outlet? When you're with me, you can't be carrying that cheap crap. It's embarrassing." I felt a surge of disgust. This was beyond ridiculous. Austin puffed out his chest. "I'm a top-tier professional at Sterling. I'll be taking you to some high-class events, so you'd better learn to act the part." As he spoke, he actually reached out to touch my hair. I jerked my head back, fighting the urge to slap his hand away. He just smirked. "Shy? Don't worry. We'll be family soon. We'll be doing much more intimate things." I was speechless with rage. This wasn't an April Fool's joke. This was straight-up harassment. Just then, Taylor came back from the restroom. She saw Austin and froze, a complicated look on her face. I assumed she was just awkward around strangers, so I grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the exit. Even as we were walking out the door, Austin was shouting after me, "You better answer my texts." That night, my phone practically melted from the barrage of messages. Hundreds of them, each one more insane than the last. "That restaurant you posted costs like $200 a person. That's way too extravagant. You're not allowed to go there anymore. All you do is travel and waste money. You're forbidden from hanging out with other men. A good woman knows her place. After we're married, you will give me 5 sons in 3 years. Your salary is mine, and all chores are your responsibility." My blood pressure skyrocketed. I blocked and deleted him without a second thought. But before I could even breathe a sigh of relief, a new friend request popped up. The note was chilling. "You dare to block me? Just wait. I have ways of finding you." I stared at the words, my fingertips cold. A knot of anxiety tightened in my chest. He had scrolled through my entire social media history. If he really wanted to find me, it wouldn't be hard. The night outside was inky black. The glow from my phone screen felt cold and menacing.